Puma did not have to go this hard with the Mostro 3D, but I'm glad they did. And if they're a little bit too weird for you, fair enough. They do have a regular version that still looks pretty good and has a weather-resistant nylon ripstop upper. As the YouTube guy who covers fashion and performance, how can I resist talking about winter sneaker and footwear trends? I'll be sharing 20 plus of the best winter releases that'll help keep your toes dry and looking good, and 3 major trends in footwear right now so you can help identify what's cool. This is Avalanche here. Let's take a tour through this season's best winter footwear. Hyped sneaker culture is kind of dead right now, so although there are some hyped releases like the Wu-Tang Dunks celebrating 25 years versus the original release, and the Nike and Cortez Air Huarache trainer, there's actually a surprising variety of stuff out there, which is great because it means that we've got more to choose from. And I'm always a big fan of winterized versions of regular sneakers, and there's a lot of different ways that that can be achieved. The latest Undercover and the North Face collab brings us a performance-focused sneaker boot called the Summit Off-Trail. The texture of the material shroud combined with the BOA lacing system and huge 7mm lugs couldn't say winter more effectively. Very futuristic performance aesthetic, and this was part of a wider collaboration with a cohesive look. Similar vibes from Salomon with the Snowclog mid, more stripped back, more casual looking, but still using a super chunky outsole. If you want something a little bit more substantial, they also have the AB2 released in collaboration with 11 by BBS. Mixed material upper blends rough, smooth, matte, shiny textures to make an all-black shoe feel very complex, and I love the chiseled off heel where the aggressive angle contrasts with the sleek form-fitting upper. Downside is these are fairly pricey, but we will be taking a look at some more affordable options. Vans are a classic in that area, and the MTG Skate High Gore-Tex is a great example of keeping reference to the classic silhouette whilst making enough meaningful changes for it to feel fresh and give better performance credentials. Again, contrast materials on the upper and white stitch detail makes it look like the original Skate High has been kind of torn apart, revealing this performance sneaker boot underneath. And while we're talking Vans, I think the update to the old school called the Trail 36, which replaces the standard lacing with his BOA system, does a really nice job of integrating a completely different performance-focused aesthetic to a classic skate shoe. Not to mention the Vibram outsole, which you'll see all over winterized sneakers. I still like my Nintendo pair, but this pair has given them a new aesthetic, different wearability, and in a far more integrated way than something like the Vomero 5 Rome or the UGG Tasman, where the performance aspect looks kind of unceremoniously bolted on. Also, big fan of these plastic products jeans. Don't normally wear denim, but hey, these are pretty cool. One of the things that's important with many of these shoes, texture. This is one of the big trends right now. Almost every brand is making use of it. Adidas and Song for the Mute is one. Suede, horsehair, patent, all combine on the Country OG and elevate what is still a super popular shape right now. Haven's new Tarvus collab uses a great hairy suede upper, and they did something similar with their Gore-Tex infused Clark's Weaver, which stands out versus a typical Gore-Tex shoe look. I also love the Asics and Cecile Banson Gel Terrain, where that signature flower motif uses a patent finish to further accentuate the adornments. Super looking forward to their collab with the North Face next year, where they'll be applying this not just to their sneakers, but clothing and accessories as well. So many brands are putting textural elements first in their footwear designs to elevate them or differentiate them from standard options. When so much of what we consume is online, these things are tactile. They demand you get them in hand and touch them because these shoes are not just about looking good, but feeling good. Previously, we've seen sneaker designs intended to be scroll stopping, to have that immediate visual appeal. Now these are saying you can't experience these fully online. You have to go out and see them for yourself. Two forces at play here. First, in shitification. People are aware that their products are getting worse over time. Use of texture is brands trying to convince you otherwise. These are different. They're luxurious. They're premium. They're worth investing in because they don't just give you a visual experience, but a tactile one. Second, with consumer spending low, market confidence kind of shaky, people need a reason to believe in luxury, a real reason to spend more, something that feels tangible over and above just a logo cosign. Now I've awakened this idea in your brain, I guarantee you will see its influence in so many cool or popular shoes this season. Something to look out for in your next pickup. You'll probably notice more boots, loafers, smarter shoes have been sneaking into streetwear for quite some time now. I did actually grab a pair of my own, these Prada ones, Facebook Marketplace deal. These were £25. And okay, they're a little bit beat up, but you really can't argue with the price to quality ratio. Let's talk some new stuff though. I particularly like the Paraboot and Studio Nicholson collab, with the laces adding a fashion-forward touch, and both brands having a reputation for quality products. Studio Nicholson seems to be a bit of a fashion influencer fave right now. I haven't owned anything from the brand, but if you've got any experience with them, I'd love to hear it. Namacheco did something similar recently with a triple-laced derby, which sold out despite costing nearly $900, but I really like these too. Birkenstock and Filson giving me similar vibes, and this this is specifically a 1774 collab, which is Birk's luxury arm where high-end construction is the priority. Very tactile, very textural, and I can definitely see a particular sort of menswear fan really rocking these, and you probably know if that's you or not, because all the other people will be looking at this shoe like, ugh. And that's particularly because of their high price. These aren't technically new, but I love seeing a heritage hiker boot in a streetwear fit. Two of my favorites are the DMA Rozia Vet and the Roa Andreas. More sophisticated than a sneaker, but still look great in a casual outfit. Boots though, really a whole world. So if you're a boot enthusiast, I'd love to hear some of your recommendations for this season. Smarter footwear is being fused with sneakers though. We noted this trend earlier this year and existing for a few reasons. Firstly, to bring the comfort and performance of sneakers to a more formal shoe, and also a way for sneaker manufacturers to keep up profitability. Now more and more people seem to be shopping for loafers. I've shown several of these already from multiple brands including New Balance, Puma, Roa, but a standout new release for me is the Mizuno Wave Prophecy Mock. I really like Mizuno. I've been fortunate enough that they've sent me quite a few pairs. I could not even buy these, they sold out so quickly. Great execution, a futuristic performance combined with classic menswear. And before you say, oh, this is Mizuno just hopping on the trend and coming up late to the party, well, these are actually based on the 2007 Infinity Mock, so they've been doing it way before this was a trend. For a more available Mizuno shoe though, check out the Mugen Trail GTX. I've got two pairs of these. They've got a new one for this season in all black with these reflective elements that give it quite a different look, but I still really like. There's no doubt smarter shoes and non-sneakers are in, but they signal a bigger trend, that of the cultural fusion. Lazy collabs ain't gonna cut it anymore. Nobody wants to see two big logos slapped together. Instead, they need to see different aesthetics, inspirations, backgrounds fusing in a way that creates something new and interesting. That's why there's never been a better time for winterized sneakers, adding ruggedization and performance to a regular shoe, but also remixed versions and collabs which allow for unexpected changes and additions to the regular version of a shoe. Performance shoe brands are of course eating good in winter, and many of them are doing exactly this to bring those performance-focused silhouettes to a more fashion enthusiast audience. Take Salomon, for example, with this Filio collab fusing a rough texture to the typically sleek nylon upper. Hoka did something similar with Pariah Farzena, weaving material into the upper, apparently inspired by confectionery shops. Kind of weird inspo for a running brand. The Junior collab literally adds chains to the Aura Primo Mock, really subverting the performance nature of the shoe at all. Are you wealthy enough to put chains on your shoes? Even more unusual is Suikoke and Midorikawa being inspired by Bigfoot to bring out these insane takes on the Vibram Five Fingers. I desperately want to see someone rocking these. They just look so fun to me, especially when built on that performance-focused Vibram Five Finger platform. But if these are too crazy for you, they have a regular Five Finger shoe as well, which are perfectly normal, obviously. People do still wear those in a fashion context though, and I'm here for it. And just look at how key texture is to all of those releases. In 2025, sight is out and touch is in. The Moncler Trail Grip is a design that I quite like, although a little bit safe for a luxury shoe, so the Rick Owens version with the mega lace really sorts that out. I know some people think that this is a bit corny, but whatever, I think it's cool, and it does create this nice contrast in a similar fashion to the lace-swapped shoes that we've seen throughout this video. Also a big fan of the clothing part of this collaboration. There's been a few seasons now, they're always a hit. For my fellow runners, there's a Hoka and Satisfy collab Speed Math 84, both brands that I wear running, and they look nice. They fit in with the Satisfy aesthetic. Rather than a sort of cultural fusion or a clash here, I think this is working because these two brands have very obvious shared values. This combination of a drive for functionality, performance, and good looks while you're doing it. It creates a real authenticity that people want to buy into, this sense of two brands having shared values coming together. That said, I do like the Sulfur colorway from earlier this year a little bit more, and to an extent, this collab is being carried a bit by both of these brands being kind of hot right now. If that's not winterized enough though, they're re-releasing the Kaha 2 GTX, real mix of functionality and good looks. It's a bit of a fan favorite and there's some nice colorways here. I also love that big fat squashy Frost Mock 2, still using a GTX membrane but with an ultra casual slip-on toggle design. A more unusual boot though that you almost certainly won't have seen comes from Ollie Schindler and Magnum. The former and up-and-coming designer, he graduated from CSM a few years ago, putting this leather shroud over the upper and laces, making them look like they belong in an Alien film. I also saw a new version of the New Balance Niobium, which we looked at last year, now coming in an all-black version for much better wearability. You can pull the inner shoe out of these and use them as house shoes or slippers. I really like them, although the sizing is a little bit wonky. They came up really small for me, so I had to return mine. Adidas are also bringing out out fun boots, moon boots. I like this cultural fusion where they bring a sportswear aesthetic and boost performance to a very retro shape. Those are maybe overkill unless you live somewhere that's guaranteed snow. Maybe you just want some more regular sneakers, and I've definitely got a few more that I want to talk about. Merrill sent me these pretty cool Speed 2 vents with an oversized Vibram outsole. Very outdoor fashion, obviously. Nice autumn-winter color palette, and great for daily wear thanks to those nice breathable uppers. Although if you do want a more weather-resistant version, yes, they come in Gore-Tex. Oh, and they showed up in Go Out magazine, which is the #1 place to find out what Japanese outdoor fashion enthusiasts are wearing. Puma and A$AP Rocky Mostro 3D. I did not expect these. I lost the raffle for them, but damn, they look sick. Reminding me of ferrofluid and weird science experiments. Again, it's putting texture first. They're manufactured by a Lifeform who we've covered before on the channel and are coming up with some great designs. Even the regular Mostro I find pretty cool and obviously a lot more wearable. I also like the Inhale from the same collab despite being completely different. Part of a motorsport themed collection, and the distressing looks great on these, straight out of the pit lane with these flame-like accents on the sidewalls. Puma had a Helia Emile collab as well, and while I'm still a little bit skeptical about this brand, I do think that they look cool. Another one with boa lacing. This stuff just seems to be showing up everywhere now. And came out with a nice clothing collection too, but does run pretty expensive. I don't know, I think Puma are kind of on the upswing right now. Puma's gain is Nike's loss. I'm still finding it hard to get too excited about Nike stuff right now. I did like the Air Sunder though, and now there's a Gore-Tex version of that. They feel equal parts fresh and classic, especially with these vibrant, saturated colors. The Signal looks like some 90s ACG retro, but is actually a brand new design. Oversized foamy midsole and very rounded upper makes them look like they've been inflated slightly. I don't know if I like them yet. I feel we need to see some more colorways, but they do definitely fit into the current landscape of sneaker boots. There's also the Gatto, which I think is part of their initiative to launch more affordable footwear options. Now this one is based on a 2010s football shoe, but coming in at $89.99 is a lot more affordable than all of their premium models. It's very Samba Gat look with the white upper, the gum outsole, the little suede toe cap. It's definitely a response to the market, but it's a reasonable price point, and these are a little bit aesthetically differentiated with these cutouts on the sidewalls. Maybe they can carve out a little niche. And just for fun, some winter sneakers I do not like, the new Gore-Tex 2002 R with the white midsole. These just look horrendous in my opinion. Real outlet shoe vibes from this one, particularly compared to the versions from previous years, or basically every 2002 R ever. Another flop comes from Balenciaga and Under Armour combining the knitted upper, which was cool about 8 years ago, with that Under Armour logo that I just really don't like. Is it just me? And as we know, slapping two logos together is not enough to sell a shoe anymore. Trash. Okay, quick recap. 3 things to look for if you want cool shoes this winter. 1, texture, materials you want to reach through your screen and touch, and contrasting materials which elevate a shoe past normalcy. 2, cultural fusions, blending one use case, aesthetic, inspiration with another, even if it seems disparate at first glance. We're giving old styles new ways to be worn. 3, smarter styles, derbies, boots, loafers. Do not restrict yourselves to sneakers, my friends, and this is hard for me to say because I love sneakers, but this stuff is really making me want to branch out. These are broad ideas. Please incorporate them into your style in a way that feels most authentic for you. And if you have any recommendations that I didn't cover, please add them to the comments so this video can be as helpful as possible for anyone else who shows up after. Can't wait to hear your thoughts as always. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like, and I will catch you in the next one.